All right, cool. We're live. We're live. We're live. Just make sure all is good in the hood. Yeah. Let me check the sound, guys. Okay, perfect. And we're good. And we're good. And we're good. You know what? Before we even start anything, or before I even say what I'm here for, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my singing bowl today to go ahead and ground the energy, because I ground before I come on here, and then I hit live, and there's a whole influx of energies that I'm open to and that I'm very sensitive to. So I'm gonna go ahead. We can take this time to attune our frequencies together and ground. Okay, so that is the intention of this right now. The singing bowl is to ground, and go ahead and get us into this energy of this transmission, especially if it is for you. All right, so do be warned, especially for those of you who are wearing earphones and things like that. This can get very loud. Okay, so here we go. Spirit, ground this energy, intention into this space. Bring only those who need to hear this message at whatever time it finds them. Spirit. Okay. When I tell you, like, I have to do that because so many energies just come at me at once, and for the longest I would be like, you know, Spirit, I ground every time I come on here. I come on with intention, like, what is happening? And you know, I just got that intuitive nudge to just kind of do that, and just to respect and honor my own sensitivities, and not try and mask that or act as though like we're not living a human experience, and you know that that's not a thing, you know. So that's something that I intend to start our sessions with, from now moving forward. All right, because I realize there are other sensitive people, just like me. So hopefully that helps ground you into the energy today, because I keep getting visions of the wolf, and I felt like I was visited by visions of the wolf. And a lot of you know that I associate the wolf with Cancer season, because, and I honestly didn't think about the wolf this Cancer season. I don't know, it just didn't come to me. But I associate it with Cancer and Cancer season because wolves are pack animals, you know. Wolves, they tend to mate for life. They stay with their family. And Cancer is that. It's the pack. It's your home. It's your childhood. It's the mother. You know, it's all of that that I just described. But when it came to me, I heard, but what about the lone wolf? And that was the aspect of the wolf that stuck out to me. And I was like, wait a minute, wow, like I never, you know, I hadn't associated that, I hadn't integrated that part of the wolf yet. I was only associating it with the pack. And of course, we're in Cancer season. Today is the full moon in Capricorn. So happy full moon. It's not until like another 3-4 hours Eastern time. But, you know, I thought it was a great time that this came to me. And so what Spirit broke down is that a lot of people are moving through the lone wolf energy. And when I say that, what I don't want people to get this connotation of like negativity or you're lonely or I really went deep into what is it, right? Because we hear lone wolf all the time. We hear we see it as the people or the person who kind of lives on the outskirts and they're out of the pack. And but I really broke that down. And so, yes, I have my notes. And I do plan to pull a few cards for each archetype. So I'm going to break this down into 4 archetypes of this lone wolf and 4 ways that they are created, have been created. And I'm going to do that because what Spirit gave to me is that many people are moving through these archetypes, whether it's one, whether you relate to more than one. And also what I noticed when I was going through this energy is that you could identify with one now or have in the past and shift or evolve into another one of these archetypes, or they are just kind of, you're dealing with both at the same time, so it was very interesting getting into this energy. And I do think it's going to be helpful for a lot of people. I think my intention is that it will help people who are feeling this make sense of what they're going through right now. Okay, so I'll try and time stamp it as best I can after. I don't usually do readings like this, and that's another thing. That's the whole point of this energy that we're in. Okay, so a lot of this might make a lot more sense too once I start getting into it. All right, so I want to talk about like how the lone wolf energy is created. Okay, because I thought this was very interesting. There was this term called dispersal. Okay, and it said that a lot of lone wolves typically leave voluntarily, not because they were forced out. It was because instinctually they felt it. And they said in the sense of like literal wolves and how they operate, right? They said around like 1 to 3 years old, this young wolf, who they will call a disperser, will lead the pack. And what that made me think of was like those people who might leave home early, or they have this like instinctual gut feeling that they gotta go off. They have to venture off. There's something different out there for them. They gotta go find the path, It's a natural part of the life cycle, right? So in wolf culture, in literal wolf culture, the animals themselves, this disperser is natural because it will go outside of the pack to avoid things like inbreeding, like wolves inbreeding within the family. They'll go out to seek their own independence or to find a mate, to find their own mate. So that's another thing that I want to stress to you guys who are feeling this energy, is that lone wolves are not necessarily lone wolves forever. It's not this thing like you're lonely forever. It is a journey, okay, that a lot of people, I feel like, are being activated in right now and might not know and might not understand, or might be still trying to fit themselves into packs. And I say packs, and that can be systems because we're in a Capricorn full moon, family because we're still in a Cancer cycle as well. So we have to, kind of use this as a metaphor. Okay. So yeah, so the dispersal is one of the ways that a lone wolf archetype can be made, right? And so this is not forced. This is not being chased out. This is not being exiled out. This is somebody who just has a natural instinct, and it happens often at a younger age. Okay, so the first one is dispersal. Okay, is how they're created. And to add to that, right, just so you understand that a little more, understand that a little bit more, this would be somebody who's choosing this to quote unquote find themselves. Okay, even if they feel scared, if they're unsure, if they feel like they're unready. So I'm gonna say, you know what, that's just kind of coming in intuitively. A lot of people are initiating this. A lot of people are initiating this for themselves. Yeah, I'm hearing that. Self-initiates. self-initiates. These are also what they're bringing in right now through a channel, is that these are also some of the individuals who might still have this remembrance of like why they came here, why they incarnated. Like it's still fresh on their brain. I don't know why I'm getting like Aries energy for that. I don't know why I'm getting that. Okay, like remembering why they came here. Maybe I'm getting Aries because sometimes I tend to think of like Aries rising as being like someone who was a new incarnate on earth. Like this is their first lifetime being an Aries rising. It's like the first house. It's very new, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So, you know, for some, maybe this is like a first lifetime type of thing if you feel or resonate with that. All right, but I'm going to move on to the second one, okay? So the second way that this lone wolf archetype can be created is through exile or rejection. So I know a lot of people resonate with that, right? And this is forceful. So the first one, dispersal, where you have that instinctual nature, this gut feeling, I have to go off, I have to venture more, all right? And it was 11/11 where I was just saying that. So a lot of people might resonate with this exile or rejection one. And this is where you're forced out. Okay, this is where you are forced out. It could be due to power struggles, right? Dominant struggles, especially if we're talking about literal wolves. There are alpha wolves, right? There's an alpha in the pack, the head, the lead of the pack, right? So this could be due to power struggles if we relate that to the human experience. Right, people who challenge authority, people who get bullied out, okay, get bullied out of systems. I would say this could be, because in the actual wolf hierarchy, it could be a wolf who is ostracized because they're not able to pick up on like the social cues of the hierarchy. So they are a threat to the pack's survival, so to speak. And that would, I think this gets into like the territory of being different. You know, a couple of these I'm gonna say definitely resonate for those of us who identify and can identify with the patterns of like being neurodivergent and just thinking differently, thinking non-linear, you know. So this could be the black sheep, right? The one who feels very misunderstood, again, pushed out not by their own choice. Okay, and this could be someone no, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say that for this one. I'm gonna save that for the next one. Okay, so exile rejection. Then I'm gonna go back and we're gonna talk about how these things create the archetypes and what those archetypes are, and I'll pull a few cards for those archetypes, so you can see which one you resonate with and see what's going on here, and you know, what your mission is. All right. So the third one is social misalignment or isolation. Because like I said, wolves, their system, they are highly social creatures. They like are very connected to their family, their pack. Okay. And as far as like love, they mate for life. They're like what's another animal? Penguins, I think. I think swans. Oh my god, swans, beautiful. Like the swan dance, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to break that down. Like that's just a whole nother thing. God, that's beautiful. Anyways, but you get what I'm saying. Like wolves are very connected through social and emotional connections. Okay, so this one, the social misalignment, these I think would align a lot more with the people who feel like neurodivergent or feel like they think different from the pack, or just they feel isolated within the pack. Like they don't, it's those people who feel like they just never fit in. They never really challenged authority or anything. It's just like this feeling of like, I don't know, like this environment doesn't suit me. This family doesn't suit me. You know, you just kind of feel out of step with the things that society or your family tells you you should be in balance with. You should resonate with this. This is us. This is what we do. This is how we do it. This is in your blood. You know, it's that type of thing. You know, so yeah, let me get to my second page of notes. Right, yes, continued here. Yeah, so these are the empaths too, right? These are people who are deeply intuitive. I think the reason why this happens is because you can see the truth. So you just, at a young age, you might not be able to name that. Even adults, I know adults who are not able to name that, you know, that they are highly intuitive, they are highly sensitive, they can't do the small talk, they can't pretend that they don't know you're lying to them, they can't sit up here and act like they didn't just, you know, hear you talking about that person, now you smiling in their face, you know. This person, I think their soul is much bigger than fitting into a hierarchy, than fitting into a pack. And they just, a lot of them, us, don't know that, have not learned that yet. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I put. They didn't fail the group, they just don't speak the group's language. Okay, so the last one that I want to talk about is created, the last archetype is created through trauma or loss. Okay. Now, these are people who have experienced the loss, they've experienced the trauma, and this has sent them into like a rogue, or sent them into isolation, or a spiritual journey, some type of spiritual awakening. You know, they could lose their mate. I know a couple of people who are actually moving through that right now, and it's very, I don't know, it's just an interest. Grief is very interesting. Grief is so interesting to go through and to see people like move through, you know, it really is. But these are people who have experienced like severe stress, severe loss, and trauma, you know, and so they're finding themselves, or they, you know, they seem like they're living on the outskirts, they seem like they're in isolation. You know, there are some people that are being activated into that. And also with this one specifically, I got some of you are being activated and initiated out of this. You've gone through this. You're going to become a teacher. You're going to become a healer. You're going to help other people mend their heartbreaks. You're going to help other people move through grief, move through loss. Okay, I'm here in support group with that. So I don't know, some of you could be doing that, or might be the head of that or leading that. Okay, so before we get to the archetypes, all right, because then I'm going to start pulling cards for you guys for the archetypes, just a couple, only oracles, not tarot today. But I want you guys, when I start to pull the archetypes, let me know which one you resonate with the most. If it's more than one, if it's just one, if you feel like you were one, now you're evolving into another one, now you're being initiated, if it's someone around you, or you're just witnessing it. Okay, because this was all very, very interesting when I went through it. All right, so the four ways that they're created. Dispersal. Okay, this is the only one that's like not by choice, so to speak. Okay, the second one, exile or rejection. Okay, this is forced out. This is forced out. The third one, social misalignment or isolation. This is the one that aligns more with I think neurodivergence. Okay, we're going to give these names in a minute. And then the last one is through trauma or loss, severe trauma, stress, and loss. Okay, now we're going to get into the four archetypes. Okay, let me move these over here. All right, so the first one that we talked about, right, that was created with the dispersal. Okay, and I want to try and timestamp these if I can. Okay, so the first one we talked about, the more natural one, the one where you just instinctually feel like, you know, there's more out there. Your soul is meant for more. Again, I feel like this is like something that happens for a lot of people. These are the ones that like leave home early. That's what I would say for them too. The seeker. Okay, I will call you guys the seeker. Okay, and these, like I said, would be those of you who leave voluntarily. I heard there's a mark on your soul. There's a mark on your soul. There's a mark on your soul. I have to write that. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. There is something that you guys know when you come in. I'm already getting channel messages for you even before I pull cards. It's already something that you know. And even if you can't like remember your life's mission, like what it is exactly you're supposed to do, there's something you're like, I gotta, there's something, no, like I gotta go here, I gotta go there. You know, it reminds me of those children. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever heard those stories where people will say, well, my son was like saying that he used to be in the Vietnam War and he's having dreams of like his old combat team and stuff like that. And that's what I'm like referring to. You know, this heavy sense of like there is a bigger mission for me. Okay. Yeah. I was called to leave before I ever understood why. Okay. Um, so yes, this would be the seeker. They sense that there is more beyond what is known. They leave not because they are rejected, but because there is a longing, there is a mark on their soul, and I mean that in a very positive way. Okay, now I do feel like some things that y'all could be feeling right now, though, if you resonate with this, or if this is something you resonate, I feel like the shadow side of this, the wounded part of this could feel loneliness, even if you did choose the solitude. Okay, we are living a human experience, so you could still feel that loneliness. Okay, you could feel very misunderstood by the pack that you left behind, the pack that you know, kind of veered away from. And there could also be this fear that you will never like find your own kind. Okay, so I just want to validate and speak to what you might be feeling, because although we're talking about all this and it sounds all empowering, um, you know, there are shadow sides to every type of energy. Um, okay, and yeah, this spiritual journey is real. It's not all love and light. It's not. Okay, but I feel like your purpose, you guys' purpose, to initiate a personal quest, okay, for identity, truth, and a deeper belonging. And that is that longing I feel that you guys feel, that you guys resonate with, that you might not able, might not be able to put your finger on. You might not be able to name it, okay, but there is this quest for just depth, to figure out life, to just, I don't, you know, okay, I'll get into it. Some of you are going to become a soul guide to other people later, once they do the same thing. So you're going to become the initiator for new initiates into that life. Okay. And two, I'm hearing the wanderer life. So please think the Fool. I want you guys to think the Fool tarot card for this. Okay, I want you to think that they're bright-eyed, they're bushy-tailed, they might not know, right? The Fool is very like, yeah, I just got my knapsack, I got my dog, and I'm gonna go over this cliff, and I'm just so happy. Little do they know they're gonna move through all of the major arcana, right? They gotta go through all the major arcana. It is a journey, okay? But that's what I feel like I think resonates the most with this energy. And there is this self-trust that you build on this path. You know, I think all the lone wolves have this energy of autonomy, of sovereignty, you know. Yeah, very deep. But like I said, this could be let's see, like like I said, somebody who moves to like a new city just off like a gut feeling. You know what, something's calling me here, something's telling me to go there. You know, something, I always wanted to move here, I don't know why. This could be the 9-to-5 employee who leaves corporate life just to go, you know, to go backpacking. It's been a lot of people doing that. I know y'all have seen that. To go backpacking, travel the country, write their book, create their spiritual art. This could be someone who leaves a stable relationship, even though it's stable, even though it's secure, because there is just a longing that they cannot explain. There is a calling on their soul for more, for something deeper. Okay. This could be somebody who leaves like a social circle, a community, a friend group that they're a part of because it just feels too shallow now. You know, not because it's any drama or anything. Again, there is instinct here. And this also reminds me of Spirit is coming through. intuitively with the channel, saying that some of you are experiencing this in the form of not knowing why you're repelling certain things that you feel haven't harmed you. They haven't done anything to you. No dramas, no beef. You just are not in alignment with it anymore. And Spirit would say is saying it's because your soul is seeking something else. And you don't have to have a reason. Nothing has to be wrong, so to speak. Okay? So I'm going to pull a couple cards for y'all. Just oracles. I'm going to pull one from this one here and one from the Gods, Goddesses, and Guardians deck. All right, so this one is for the Seeker. I should have put that in the chat, but I don't know. I don't know what I was about to say. Okay. For the Seeker, Spirit, what message do you have for those who resonate with this path? And I want to say that these archetypes are being built right now. These archetypes are being called. These archetypes are being initiated right now because there's this deep sense of, with this Capricorn full moon, you know, for some people, okay, you haven't resonated with what that energy told you had to strive for, or what that's supposed to look like. That is what these energies are initiating. But I will say, you have got to be ready to change something, to completely flip the script. And that's why I said a lot of this Capricorn full moon is not about the applause. It's about, can you pivot? Okay, can you pivot? Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Actually, I'm not sorry. Let me watch my words. I'm not sorry. When I do readings and things like that, and that's something that I am getting more comfortable in and will not apologize for, there are channels that come through and I speak that. So no, the way that I think is not linear. I'm not just by the book, and I'm not going to make myself that way. So there's just a little disclaimer, okay? All right, for the Seekers, I'm just going to flow with my energy, not against it, because that's when I get the best channel. So that means that I'm not just going to be like a book here going, you know, I'm going to butt in and there's channels that's coming through. And so that's just how I operate. Okay, for my Seekers, you have growth. I want to, okay. I'm getting a little bit more playful too, y'all. I'm feeling into that energy, so feel with me, okay? So we have growth for the Seekers. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. That's literally, quite literally what we said. So this is what you're feeling. For those of you who resonate with that Seeker archetype that we just talked about, that's what you're feeling. Growth is coming through. What does that say? I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Okay? I'm hearing there is more, and I know it. This yellow or goldish color is reminding me of the solar plexus, and then they just highlighted the purple, which is reminding me of like the third eye in the crown. So a lot of you are feeling activated in a very earthy way. What do I mean by earthy, right? I just try to pull words quickly so I don't lose the download. In a very physical way, in a very tangible way. The solar plexus is about action, okay? So a lot of you are feeling called in a very physical way to get moving, to get certain things initiated, go certain places, travel certain places. And it is to expand the higher chakras. It's to expand your crown. It's to open the third eye, to give you new experiences. Spirit is coming in to say, to help you remember. So some of you need to journey. Ooh, to far places, I heard for some of you. Some of you need to journey. Okay? To remember something. To answer the call. Okay. Let's get your second one. This one I'm pulling from the Gods, Goddesses, and Guardians deck. So let's see what archetype comes out of here. Ooh, we have Aphrodite here with eternal love. Oh, I heard in this lifetime and the next. In this lifetime and the next. You know, I don't usually, I wouldn't usually say that, but I do feel this in some kind of way that some of you, there could be a person, a soul, a group that you incarnated with in this lifetime, but in a different form. You know, like how they say in past lifetimes, your dad could have been your husband or your brother or whatever. Some of you are going to travel into different spaces, venture into different lands, and it might not, you know, maybe they're using it as a metaphor, or it could be very literal, but you are starting to meet people, attract, invite people who you have a soul remembrance with, or they spark this soul remembrance. They are a part of the path, and it's like these people, oh my God, my back is like tingling. Like, that's just so weird. These people, yeah, are like sparks in your, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm seeing like plugs being plugged into like a surge protector, like a long strip of sockets. These are like individuals that, okay, hold on, I have to ground it. These are individuals that all have something to lend to your path. A lot just came through. So Janae Aiko's song, I'm a wanderer, baby. I think that's called Spotless Mind. Okay. There's going to be a lot of people that you come across, and each of these people is integral to your path, right? You'll know, that could have been what I felt in my back. So seekers, I don't know, that's quite literal, and I was not expecting that, but you could feel a very, like an electric charge. You could feel like something, I don't know, it was not pain that I felt. It felt like a spark, like I was being plugged in. That's what it is. So the people that you're meeting, I feel like on your path, are plugging you in more and more to your mission. And you'll feel it. You'll know that you've just gotten another piece, that somebody just put another piece to the puzzle in, and it's making more sense. Okay? Yeah, now they just keep repeating, in this lifetime and the next, in this lifetime and the next, in this lifetime and the next, seekers. Okay, yeah, I think a lot of you are going to become leaders of a pack. I'm hearing battery in your back, you know, so these people that you're meeting, I'm hearing clan, tribe. So these people that you're meeting are very important to you. So some of you had to break away from packs because you're meant to lead them. You're meant to lead them. All right. So that's what's closing down for you guys right now. The energies are kind of leaving right now for that. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'm going to respect that. So seekers, that's what I have for you. Okay. Now, you still might resonate with more than one archetype. All right. All right. The next archetype, okay, that I'm going to move to is the Exile. All right, this is the one obviously that resonates more with being exiled or rejected, so to speak, by the pack. Okay, this would be like people not understanding you, so they made you a threat. Okay, they made you a threat. You were a threat to their system because you challenged the status quo. You simply just could not shrink yourself to be small enough to fit into their systems. But the wounding, all right, the wounding that the exile can feel, that's what I want to kind of touch on, is deep abandonment wounds. Okay, so if that's being triggered up for you right now, if you've been moving through that, you could definitely resonate with this archetype. Questioning your self-worth, like questioning if you were wrong, questioning if you are too much. And there could be some sorrow. I'm going to say rage first, anger, right? Because they always say anger is a secondary emotion, meaning it's always a root under that. So I'm going to say it's rage first, and underneath that is sorrow. Underneath that is actual hurt, you know, from being rejected, right? Because like I said, as wolves, if we're using that metaphor, they are natural pack animals. Okay, they naturally attach to their families. They naturally mate for life, you know. So that rejection is like the mother wound, right? Like if your mother rejects you at birth, that is a deep wound. Okay, that does not just stay, you know, in that moment. All right, so there could be, especially if you're feeling that anger, but underneath that is just like hurt. Like, why? You know, I could say this one when I was looking at this. I could definitely resonate with that. I could definitely resonate with this one. So the exile, the outcast, the rebel mystic. Now, here's your purpose. Here's your power. Okay? And here's like I feel like what y'all are being initiated into is to transform that pain into power. So alchemy, transmuting that energy, becoming the leader of other ones, other misaligned souls who felt that way, other quote unquote misfits, other quote unquote exiles or outcasts. Okay. Um, yeah, and building a new pack where truth reigns, not forcing people to conform, and abuse of power. Okay. So I would say these are people, okay, they're cutting that off. They're stressing that some people who resonate with this are people who did not fully understand that you're not supposed to be trying to knock at the door of the pack. You're not supposed to be trying to fit into the pack or, you know, and this is not, you know, I'm not saying be like radicalized and isolate yourself, but it's not begging to be a part of something because you are meant to lead something. Okay, so Spirit is coming through and saying that some of you were doing that. I resonate with that. I resonate with that. Some of you were doing that, even subconsciously, even, you know, not knowing, okay, that you're still trying to be a part of a pack that, no, that's not. You're meant to start something else. Doesn't mean like you're bigger than anything. It just means you're different than this. You're meant to lead something else. There's other people that are like you that need you to be you. They don't need you to try to knock on the door of the pack and be like everybody else. They just need to hear your unique voice, your perspective, see your take on things. They don't need another carbon copy of someone that's already out there. Okay. And so that could be what some of you are feeling if you resonate with this archetype. Okay. And that's what I want to do. I want to give some examples of how that could actually be playing out, like in the human life. And that could be a lot of people who consider themselves like the black sheep of maybe like a religious family. You know, you feel like you might want to become like a spiritual teacher, blending like ancient wisdom with like your modern rebellion, you know. Another one could be people who have been disowned by family or you know, because of their sexual orientations. I feel like you guys would fall into this one as well. Okay, the outcast, the exile. This, remember, this one is one of the ones that's by force. Okay, it's not like the seeker where it's that dispersal energy. This one is the one that's by force from the pack, not by choice. Okay, anyone who just gets labeled as difficult, rebellious, oh they trouble, oh they don't listen, oh they disrespectful just because you got questions. You know, just because you're questioning like stuff that you see and you're like, "Man, that's not right," like, you know. It makes me laugh. Or you know, you're questioning stuff and you're like, you know, you're abusing your power, or you know, you just have questions and you are instead of being met with understanding and someone teaching you or whatever, or someone being curious, you just get labeled as difficult. Okay, and that's just to whip you back into shape and try to make you shrink yourself. Another one could be somebody who like speaks up at work. Like y'all know, like whistleblowers, right? We have a lot of whistleblowers, and if you know, you know. Okay, we've had a lot of whistleblowers and a lot of strange occurrences, okay, that have taken place as a result of them blowing the whistle, if you catch my drift, okay? I would say, oh, this is a big one that I think a lot of people can resonate with, and this is the person who was bullied. Okay, the person who was bullied for their passion, for being passionate, for their intellect, for their uniqueness, how different they think. Okay, And now that person could become a self-leader, you know, a creator of something. Now, you know, they were bullied for the way they dress. Now they creating their own clothing line. You know what I'm saying? And creating a pack of people who love that fashion. Now they just started a new trend, you know? So it's that kind of vibe. All right, now let me pull some oracle cards for you guys. And let's get into your mission. Let me get some water really quick. What's the message for the exile, the outcast, the rebel mystic? What message do you have for them on this path? What message do you have for those who are being initiated? For those who are already here? For those who are accepting their truth? All right, you got 2. Oh my God. Okay. You have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. And so for some of you, this is why. This is literally why. You were able to challenge. That looks like a crab. that symbol in the middle reminds me of a crab, and we're in Cancer season. For some of you, I don't know, it could be referencing that. Could be referencing power struggles with a mother as well for some of you. Okay, questioning things in the family. Actually, I'm kind of getting a very specific channel that I need to speak on, like a mother archetype who is maybe heavily religious or heavily in the church. And I don't mean any harm by any of this. It's just a channel. Okay, and the child, whoever the child is challenging that. Okay, and it's not that the mother has the same questions. Okay, the mother has the same questions, and the envy comes from her feeling like she's not able to express those questions freely. She was not able to tap into that, or she felt, right, she felt that she lived within the prison of that, or she just had to follow, she just had to go with that. Okay, so that was coming through, so I had to get that out. This could be the reason, this is the reason for a lot of you, okay, is that you were able to see something different, and you voiced that, and you were made to be a threat. People saw you as a threat, okay? And your second card that came out of that deck, and I'm going to get you one more oracle, is change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Ooh. Nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Yeah. I think a lot of you are doing something different. You're doing it different than those before you. I get heavy like generational energy with this. I get heavy generational like curse breaker, or the first to go out and do this. The first to go outside the religion, you know, the first to say, you know, I'm not going to church, you know, whatever this is. It's very radical. I see on the bottom of the deck Hathor with soul family. All right, what do you have for this archetype spirit? What's their message? What do you have for this archetype spirit? Oh my God. You just got changed twice because you got the butterfly maiden, and this also says beautiful change. And I said that because remember in this deck you got change. Look at that. The butterfly maiden, beautiful change. That's dope. Oh my gosh, what do butterflies do? They spread their wings. Oh, I heard that. That was very heartfelt. So I heard your wings are growing bigger than the pack. And so some of you are going to fly high. Like you're gonna, and when we think about birds and aerial animal spirits, they see things from a higher perspective. They get a different perspective. They can travel far quickly, you know, and bring back information. So I just got a vision of you guys doing that, being that bird, that free spirit, the butterfly. And some of you are gonna change. Not that that is your mission. Okay, so Don't make that the hill you die on to try and change someone's mind or convince people. That's not the goal. But some of you, just by spreading your wings 44 on the time while I'm saying this, you're just going to inspire that pack back home. I see people. Okay, so I'm seeing people down below looking up at you. You will be made an example out of. Ooh, in the best way. Oh, sorry. Somebody was calling. I heard you will be made an example out of, but in a very good way, positive way, because I know when we hear that, it could be, it could have a negative connotation with that. And some of you might have actually heard that, like somebody might have said that to you, especially if in relation to that religious example that I gave. Somebody might have said like, and you're gonna get, they gonna get you, the devil gonna get you, know, something like that, instilling fear, even if that wasn't their intention. But you will be made an example out of, but in the most positive way. And it's not a show-off energy. Remember, like I said, y'all, please remember that this Capricorn energy is not about, ooh, clap for me now. Capricorn's about the long term. People will see. That's just a byproduct of the success, not the goal, not the mission to convince them. Okay, so, all right, I'm off. How long was I on the EXILE? I knew that I was going to enjoy these because of the way that the energy and the download came to me. So, all right, that's the EXILE. The next one we're going to get into is the Misfit. Okay, the one who just couldn't fit in, so to speak. Hold on. Hi. I resonate a lot with this one too. Okay, so the Misfit, like I said, the one who couldn't fit in. If you resonate with this one, you might feel like you didn't leave, you just never belonged. You just never felt like you fit in. You never felt like you belonged there. You always felt like you thought differently, you saw the world differently, you didn't maybe catch all the social cues, you know, you didn't really operate how you're supposed to operate. So again, your frequency never really aligned with the dominant energy of the group. And so you felt kind of offbeat from the start. And see, here's the thing with this one. This is why I align with this one a lot, is that a lot of people who feel this archetype internalize it. And some of that, a lot of that, you know, let's just be real, a lot of that does have to do with the pack, okay, that you come from or that you experience. Not all. Some people come from very supportive packs who are very supportive of your differences. Okay, but you know, the wound that comes from this is, again, this sort of like, it can be an abandonment wound, feeling isolation without explanation, you know, just because you're being yourself, you know, you don't. I think this a lot for children too, who are neurodivergent and have to grow up masking, right? Even adults, right? It's so many. I feel like it's been an epidemic of adults, especially women, who are now saying like, "Oh, I was diagnosed with ADHD," or I was diagnosed with this, or I have all DHD, right? Autism and ADHD. And everything makes sense, right? Like the neurodivergence of it, you don't have to think like the pack. You don't have to whip yourself into shape. Like what shape, you know? And that is something that, oh my God, that hit me so deeply at this, as we're moving through this Capricorn full moon cycle. And I think that's probably why this download came to me very sharply. But you know, there's this internalized shame that this archetype will create for themselves because they have this shame of not being normal, of not being like, why can't I just do what everybody else does? Why doesn't it just work, you know? Okay, and this is really because, y'all, like this one hits deep because this one, this is activating like gifts. Okay, this is activating psychic powers. This is activating mediumship. This is your sensitivity. This is reclaiming your sensitivity as your superpower. So with this one, you're really going to have to be willing to unmask. You're going to have to be willing to show up as different, as weird, as quirky as you are. Okay? You're going to have to face, you're going to risk rejection. You're going to risk ridicule. But your people, those people who need you to be authentic, who need you to be who you are, they're going to find you. And that's all that matters. Those people will, I'm hearing, prop you up, and not in a way that's like egotistical or like you're up here and they're down here. Like, no, there is a genuine support there. There's a genuine, I see you, I feel you. So with this one, you have to have courage to unmask. You have to have courage to be all that you are and take off that mask. Okay, let's see. Yeah, because a lot of y'all, like I said, you're going to be charged with building even more sacred and safe spaces for other people who have felt like you. Okay, who feel different, who feel like they don't fit into that thing. You're going to help them create things. Okay, and you're very important because you're going to show people how to thrive without needing approval. So this is why I say you're going to have to be comfortable unmasking and possibly not getting the recognition, not getting the instant gratification, but still being yourself. Don't put that mask back on. Okay. So yeah, that's really deep, right? These are, like I said, a lot of neurodivergents can relate to this. People who have been masking for years, but now you feel this call to unravel. I just felt so much weight leave my shoulders. Thank you, Spirit, for helping me share that message very clearly. I feel like that's something I've been trying to express for a very long time here in this space. So thank you, Spirit. Just finally feeling safe enough to unravel and just like find their real voice and just let it land where it lands. Okay, let people align with it or not, and that's okay. This is the soft-spoken intuitive who just, like I said, always felt like they didn't fit into those mainstream group dynamics. Now they're finding their own rhythm. They're realizing, wait, I can be this. Wait, I don't have to show up as a caricature. I could just show up as me in all my different moods. You know, that's your sensitive nature. You're able to tap into those things. You're able to be fluid. You're being so activated right now. This is also, some of you might be able to relate to being like that loner child, you know, who, you know, you never could relate that deeply to your siblings or peers. Not, you know, maybe they weren't like, they didn't have to be horrible people or anything, but you lived more in like your own imaginary worlds, you know, you maybe communed with spirits and spirit animals and things like that. I think a lot of us are being initiated right now too. All right, so let's get your cards. Let's get your oracles. Let's see. What else can we bring to this message, Spirit? What else do these souls need to know? Damn, why am I hearing that? Okay, it is Michael Jackson. I'm hearing Michael Jackson's, all I gotta say is that they don't really care about us. I would say Michael Jackson's in there. Like a sensitive seer, the neurodivergent, you know, that was literally whipped into shape. That was interesting to come through there. Shout out to Michael. Oh, these are so aligned. I love this. This says imagination. Oh my God, this is, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. I love it. Y'all about to have, see, this is what I'm saying. So I really need y'all, okay? I really need y'all. Just started itching. What the hell? Okay. I really need y'all to unmask. I really need you to be courageous in doing so, because there's a lot of things coming through. There's a lot of ideas coming through y'all. Okay. A lot of y'all are going to birth a lot of the new things that we're going to see start to manifest in our collective 3D. We need your creativity. Okay, so those creative ideas that you've been getting, that you're saying, oh, but how does that fit into the bigger system? Like, you have to, that's still a mask. That's still a mask. Okay, that's just a channel coming through. Like, asking that and negating what you're feeling intuitively is still trying to wear the mask, still trying to knock on the door of the pack, when you are charged with leading it now. Okay. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. There's green here, which takes me to the center, to the heart chakra. Start creating things from your heart. Allow yourself to experience more joy. Yes, stay grounded, because a lot of you guys' sensitivities are being activated right now. Do not be afraid of them. Don't believe what people told you about your sensitive nature. It's not too much. Your emotions are not too much. Ground them. See what, like, see where they are guiding you. So many of you have worn the mask of pushing down your emotions because you thought like that's what you had to do. You thought that was the way. A lot of you are being initiated right now. I'm speaking very, like, from my heart to you guys. You have got to be brave enough to unmask. There is a beautiful mission, like, that is being initiated through you guys' imaginative ideas. Your creativity is coming back online, but it is through the very sensitivities that they told you were too much. People need them now. Okay, let me get your other card from this deck. Whew. Asclepios. You have sacred medicine here. Sacred medicine. Yeah, you guys, I think, are... So a lot of you could be assisting people, like I said, in very spiritual ways. When Asclepios comes out, there's this, like, alternative energy. My words are being, like, minced. Oh, Mercury shadow. Let me slow down. There's this energy of alternative when it comes to Asclepios, right? Sacred medicine, for instance, for example, like alternative methods of healing. Okay, that goes with imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Okay. Speaking, okay, so for those of you in this archetype, Asclepios also speaks very directly to the body, to the physical body. We have spoken a lot about you guys' sensitivities being activated. That includes your physical body. That includes what you're consuming and digesting within your vessel. A lot of you, your body has been giving you messages that it is starting to reject certain things, certain foods. So I'm hearing you're needing to become a clearer channel. So if you're feeling that, you need to go with that. You need to listen to your body. Some of you are experiencing acid reflux. That was very specific. I heard that. Okay. So you need to listen to your body. Because not only, it's not just for your physical body. How can it be when everything is connected? It's clearing your channels. Make way for your gifts. That's what I hear. Whew. Okay. Some of you might also get into gardening, apothecary. I'm also hearing that. I don't know if some of you have dreams of that, but that's totally your path. That's totally aligned with this. Okay. So that's what I have for y'all. So I'm going to go to the last archetype that we have, okay? Go to the last archetype. All right, now remember, this one is the one that is created through trauma, through loss. Okay, and I would say this one's not by choice. All right, I would say this is another one that's not by choice. Okay, so this is the griever. This is the widow soul. That's what I'll call it, the widow soul, or the sacred mourner. Okay, so like we said, this one is created by trauma, loss, grief. Okay, this is the individual who is kind of forced to walk alone, right? So they walk alone by force or loss, not by choice. Okay, you know, you could resonate with this quote of like, they're gone and I don't know who I am without them, type of thing. Okay, this one, okay, some of you, they're connecting you, some of you in this archetype, they're connecting you also with the seeker. So because of a loss, it has initiated a calling within you. Think the Fool. Think the Fool in the tarot deck. You don't just come to the Fool once in a lifetime. We come to the Fool archetype many times in a lifetime, where we are embarking on new journeys, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Now, you might not have that energy with it if you're coming from the sacred mourner archetype and being initiated into the seeker, but eventually, okay, it feels like you'll go into that. All right, so they just cut through with that. Okay. Whew. Okay, so a lot of you, I think, could be moving through a lot of nostalgia right now if you're feeling this. Okay, because you're carrying the weight of a lot of memory that's connected to that loss or that person, or I'm about to cry. Okay. Listen to this sound. If you're in here, listen to this sound in the background. I just spoke about nostalgia. This is that sound that keeps, okay, I'm gonna not blast it out, but this is that sound from the old Donkey Kong. That, if you know, you know what Donkey Kong is. If you know, you know. But this is the sound. I just said that a lot of you might be feeling nostalgia, and this tune just came on. How nostalgic, how aligned. That happens to me all the time in my daily life. That's how I get synchronicity and things like that. And that's it, like that's how my mind works, and that's how I connect these messages, is how I get confirmation throughout my day, just everything. You see how that just happened? So a lot of you could be feeling that. The nostalgia, the weight of the memory. Cellular. Oh, that's interesting. Some of you are feeling a grief from a past lifetime. Wow. Another wounding that you could be feeling, right, in this energy. And I'm just saying this to validate you. Okay, being initiated into this path, that it might not be all rosy and you having a beam of light come out the sky and say you're being initiated, right? No, like, you might be going through spiritual identity crisis. You know, spiritual awakening can also feel like, what the fuck is going on right now? Okay, but I do know, okay, that moving through grief, I know for some people can definitely activate spiritual awakening. If you've experienced that and feel comfortable sharing that, please do. And there could also be, like I said, the heaviness of nostalgia, the heaviness of memory, the weight and this ache of remembering a love that doesn't exist. Okay, now I want to say that some of you are grieving and moving through things that are still here. Okay, they are still here. Okay, like it could be, let's get into some of like the human manifestations of this that you could be moving through right now, or have, or will. This could be like a friend that somehow you're cut off from them. They cut you off. I don't know. They ghost, somebody ghosts you. It's no closure. You know, that's what I mean. That's an example of grieving something or someone that's still here. They didn't die or transition. We are just cut off from connecting with them. We have untethered. Okay. I do think for some people in that case, you're on a mission to relearn self-worth. Okay. This could be somebody also who's already like who is an initiate of something, like a spiritual practitioner who loses a mentor, who graduates, who, you know, and now they are untethered. You know, now they're the lone wolf. They're solo. It's time to go on this mission alone. It's time to get some answers, you know, seek some things individually, speaking to autonomy again, self-sovereignty. There comes a time. That's what I'm hearing. There comes a time. That sounds like the beginning of a story. And that could literally be what you guys are feeling. Like you're just starting, you know, you just opened the book and the pages are blank. Oh my God, this is a big one too. This is another one. Like this could be people who are coming from community, coming from a group, coming from religion, coming from the church, whatever it is, coming from family. And feeling like they haven't found that sense, you know, they haven't been able to integrate into something else ever since they left that, you know, that you guys could resonate with this as well. And of course, the widow, you know, the widower who doesn't have their love anymore in the physical plane. Okay. So I do think that a lot of you guys' purpose is to alchemize this loss into healing. For yourself first, and then I think a lot of you will be initiates to help other people move through it. I think didn't I hear that? Yeah, I heard support group when I first brought up this archetype in the beginning. I heard support group, and I'm hearing that again. Some of you could become the bridge, okay? It's might scare some of y'all, okay? But some of y'all might become the bridge between the veil and the 3D world. Some of you are becoming initiated into that. And some of you know that. Some of you, it's a little scary right now. I feel that. Okay? And again, some of you, this is a spiritual initiation that was triggered by heartbreak, by loss, by trauma. But it is the beginning of your spiritual awakening journey. And I feel my spine tingling. That is Kundalini. So for some of you, your Kundalini is awakening and you're going to go on a journey where it begins to rise. Okay, let's pull your cards, your oracle cards, and see what else Spirit would like to add to this for you all. I'm hearing that Janae Aiko song again. I'm a wanderer, baby. And again, that was the same thing I got for the Seeker. They keep connecting you guys to the first archetype of the Seeker, which again tells me like eventually some of you are going to be that. Secondly, or for others of you rather, you are moving from this into that already. Oh my God. For some of you, that friendship example that I gave, look at the card. You guys got friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. They said for some of you, was in my life for a reason. Or you were in their life for a reason. Okay? For some of you, okay, because they're really speaking to this friend thing for whatever reason. For some of you, you need to understand that and I don't mean to sound like pompous or like put you up on a pedestal or anything like that, but for some of you, you were there to teach someone something. Like your presence taught someone something, and for some of you, they just didn't get it. For some of you, they just weren't getting it. For some of you, just weren't appreciated. You know, or they just didn't. For some of you, they just didn't view you the way that they should. It could be, you know, honestly, I'm getting someone who thinks that someone else is beneath them because of very superficial things. not knowing that this person is miles ahead of them when it comes to character, morale, integrity, trust, honesty, internal peace, joy. You know, I'm hearing they had a chance. Now, I know that that does not take away the grief or anything that you might feel, but hopefully that offers like some comfort and validates and affirms you. Okay, so it says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Okay, all right, let's get your last one. Let's get your last one. Or ones, I don't know. We'll see what comes out. Oh, damn, that's dope. That's dope. Some of you lost a friend. Some of you, and the friend could also double as your lover. Okay, some of you have definitely, someone has transitioned. So my condolences there. So you have Aphrodite, eternal love. Like, how cool is that for this archetype? That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, I'm hearing this old school song. Some of y'all might know it, and it might just be for one person, but I'm hearing Sadie. Sweet Sadie, don't you know we love you? It's the one that Tupac sampled. Okay. And for some of you, that's literally a message from the other side. And do you remember me saying that a lot of you are going to become that bridge? A lot of y'all going to become mediums. A lot of y'all going to become that, be that for some people, that bridge. And for some of you, like, this is, I don't know, I feel like a message definitely just came through. If you do have somebody who has transition on the other side, you would know, do not make this fit if it does not. Like 111, while I'm saying this, this is just confirmation that you're felt. You are felt. You are still loved. The connection has not changed. I heard you are my heartbeat. Okay, I feel like for some of you, oh, that just got super deep, so trigger warning. So for some of you, I feel like that is a message from a younger soul. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay, that's what I have. Wait. The last thing, friendship. Before I wrap, they literally just referenced the support group thing again. Some of you might find, I'm hearing in the weirdest, strangest places. You might think that it's weird and strange. I think that's why they're stressing those words right now, not because it is a weird and strange place, but that you might have that as a first impression. But you might find some of the best support there. You might find some of your best friends for this time of your life. Okay, so y'all, it's been really a pleasure to come and share these messages with y'all. I felt very excited to do this. I will get it timestamped as best I can. But thank y'all for sharing in this transmission with me. And y'all, happy full moon. Like, we pretty much in it, okay? We are pretty much in it. And yeah, it's been beautiful. This one is a big turning point for us, y'all, and I just pray that you all can ground into it and, you know, make any changes or whatever you need to make in your life and allow those things to happen. Trust yourself. You know best. And I appreciate y'all. All right, happy full moon. And take it easy now. All right, full moons can be highly charged, honey. All right, don't start none, won't be none. All right, y'all enjoy the rest of your Jupiter day, and I will catch y'all soon. All right, till next time.